What we're seeing in Pakistan is horrifying. Extreme rains, heavy flooding, intense urban flooding, especially in Karachi, where tremendous damage has been wreaked for several weeks. This monsoon season is already a disastrous one. According to the latest figures by the NDMA, ever since it began in late June, monsoon rains have killed more than 300 people in Pakistan, and they are just beginning. By early July, the Minister for Climate Change, Sherry Rahman, announced that monsoon rainfall was already 87% above normal for this time of the year. And since then, the heavy rains have only continued, wreaking havoc across all of Pakistan, in Balochistan, Sindh, Punjab, KPK. It's been raining heavily outside my home in Islamabad all morning, and the rain has only just ended. But today is just 25th July. This is when the bulk of Pakistan's monsoon begins. Most of Pakistan's monsoon rainfall usually comes from late July through August until early September. So we have a month of the monsoon ahead of us. And since the monsoon has already been so severe, who knows what we could receive in the month up ahead. And we have good reason to believe that that's going to be a very dangerous season, the rest of the season, because La Nina will continue. All the global weather forecasters are saying that it's going to continue throughout 2022. La Nina is a weather climate phase in the Pacific Ocean. When it happens, it makes monsoon rainfall in Pakistan heavier, and so increases the chance of flooding. The La Nina we've been having, it began in late 2020, and then it faded away in early 2021 before returning in late 2021, and that's called a double dip La Nina. Many La Ninas are double dip and then they just end the next year, but this one is different. When 2022 rolled around, that La Nina at first weakened in January and February, but then it strengthened in March, and it's been continuing ever since. By June, this was already noted by meteorologists as unusual. Here is an article by the World Meteorological Organization, published 10th June. Stubborn La Nina persists. And it declares that there is a high probability that the ongoing protracted La Nina event will continue until at least August, and possibly until winter. And some long range predictions even suggest that it will persist into 2023. That if it does so, it would be the first triple dip La Nina since the one that lasted from 1998 to 2001. So this is a very rare event, and since then the weather forecasts have continued to say that this is going to happen. The latest is from NOAA's Climate Prediction Center, released 14th July 2022. They're calling it a La Nina advisory, and it says La Nina is favored to continue through 2022, with the odds for La Nina decreasing to the northern hemisphere late summer, 60% chance in July-September 2022, before increasing through the northern hemisphere fall and early winter 2022, 62 to 66% chance. If the fact that they're saying that La Nina will increase in the fall and winter, that suggests that it's going to strengthen. That's also something very unusual. Back in late March, the first predictions began that of a triple dip La Nina, and there are even predictions being sounded that the La Nina will strengthen late in 2022. Now, a triple dip La Nina that strengthens instead of weakens in its third year, that is even rarer. That has not happened since 1975, which incidentally was a year in which Pakistan was struck by major floods. All the information about that, you can find it on a video released back in March by the YouTube channel Hurricane Track. I'll link to it in the description. I highly recommend that you watch it. So anyway, for now, it seems that we're in a year that is going to be a La Nina from beginning to end, and that's bad news for Pakistan, because the monsoon season has already been so above average, so severe, and it's likely to get exacerbated if La Nina continues through August, and if it strengthens and continues until fall. This reminds me of the Pakistan's worst ever flooding in 2010 and 2011. These were also La Nina years. It was when the strongest La Nina on record began in late 2010 and lasted until early 2011. Before another one returned in late 2011 and lasted until early 2012. And just as that La Nina caused the huge floods in Pakistan, is there a chance that this one will also do the same? Could it possibly cause floods comparable to the massive floods of 2010? Well, I've noticed that the current La Nina has already been behaving in some ways similar to the one a decade ago. For example, the La Nina of 2010 to 2011, it decreased rainfall over East Africa, and this resulted in a huge drought, which resulted in a severe famine starting in East Africa in July 2011, which killed 250,000 people. It was the worst drought in East Africa for several decades. Now there's another severe drought in East Africa, also caused by the La Nina that's been going on since 2020. And it's very severe. It's the worst since the one in 2011. And that suggests that this La Nina is affecting the Indian Ocean in a similar way to the 2011 La Nina, and that's worrisome for Pakistan, because the Indian Ocean is where the monsoon rains come from. But how exactly does this work? We have to dig deeper than that. Well, it's not just the La Nina in the Pacific that influences rainfall in East Africa, but also the Indian Ocean dipole. If there is a negative dipole, it decreases rainfall in East Africa. And back in 2010, there was a negative Indian Ocean dipole along with the La Nina, as said here by the Australia's Bureau of Meteorology. The IOD was negative from late August to late November 2010, encouraging clouds to form over the eastern Indian Ocean and enhancing the flow of moisture over Australia from the northwest. The 2010 IOD event was characterized by much warmer than normal ocean surface temperatures in the eastern Indian Ocean and slightly above average ocean surface temperatures in the west. This differed from the classical pattern for negative IOD, which has warmer than usual water in the east and cooler than usual water in the west. So perhaps this anomaly is how the record-breaking drought in East Africa happened. But what does it mean for Pakistan right now? Right now, weather forecasters are also saying that negative Indian Ocean dipole conditions are present in the Indian Ocean for some weeks now in 2022, and they might continue. So that means that just like in 2010, this year is also having a negative Indian Ocean dipole alongside a La Nina, and that could be very dangerous for Pakistan. I don't know if this, I don't have information to tell me if this IOD is seeing slightly above average ocean surface temperatures in the west of the Indian Ocean, but Pakistan must watch out if weather conditions right now are mimicking those in the terrible years 2010 and 2011. Now this kind of might seem strange, because a negative Indian Ocean dipole causing colder than usual water in the west, it should decrease monsoon rainfall to Pakistan. But who knows, if that didn't work out in 2010, then the same might happen this year. So Pakistan should consider itself to be at extra risk of a severe monsoon season. So the month ahead, August, that's going to be a dangerous one. We have no idea what will happen, but I suggest that we should expect the worst, given all that's been happening, the weather conditions all around the world in 2022. We just need to closely observe them, and because we need to closely watch everything that's going on with the weather currently, all the weather conditions around the world, and we need to study what weather factors went into the floods of 2010 and 2011, because they were the worst floods in Pakistan's history. So we should consider them the gold standard for how severe floods in Pakistan can happen. Anything that caused them, if that same thing is present now, that should mean an extremely high risk of flooding in Pakistan this year. So let's brace ourselves and let's get ready for everything. Let's rush to prepare however we can, with what limited time we have. I am Shahzeb Khan, and this is Disaster Management, the official YouTube channel of Pakistan's people-led disaster management. Please like and subscribe so that you can keep up with us. We will keep you up to date on the monsoon situation in Pakistan until the season finally ends.